Your team fell to the Arizona Wildcats in a Pac-12 rematch.
They did.
Caleb Love went absolutely nuts in this game. Arizona shot 50% from three.
That's pretty good last time I checked.
And despite the fact that Oregon shot 54% from the free throw line.
From the free throw line, not from the free throw line.
They had a chance to tie this game late.
Yeah.
And they were right down to the wire with Arizona before ultimately falling in the second round and not reaching the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Also kind of a weird show because we have two games. So it's
and now we can't talk about the 40-point win. That was great.
Yeah.
Liberty Bibberty in
Dana
the corner
continued
watching.
his streak of not losing his first game and blowing out Richie McKay in his hair the way that nature has and beating Liberty by 1,000,000. Who won by more? Oregon against Liberty men's basketball or Dan Lanning and Oregon football against Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl?
It actually ended up being pretty comparable.
It's got to be pretty close in that
I think
wheelhouse.
the football score was 44-7 or 45-7, I think, or 45-6, somewhere in that range.
And what was the final in the Oregon basketball game? Because I turned it off.
I did too. The final in the basketball game was 81-52.
81-52, so 39?
29.
29.
29.
Yeah, 29.
29. Final answer, 29.
So, pretty close.
Pretty close. Relatively close.
So, Altman, hey, he won.
He won. Yes, but let's not talk about that.
But his most recent game, he lost.
Fire that ass. Get him out of here. Get him out. Guy's a bum. Get him out. Can't win anything. Now, look, that one hurt. It hurt because of the start. First, 6, 7, 8 minutes of the game, you're like, holy crap, Oregon has had a really hard time this year getting out of the gate strong. It feels like one of their biggest issues, especially when they went through that midseason swoon, it was overcoming disastrous starts, finding their way back into a game, and then you say, all right, now they've finally found the rhythm. Maybe they'll find a way here. Outside of maybe the Michigan State game on the road, in which they were at a big lead at halftime and then blew it in the second half. That was one of their bugaboos. Came out of the gate incredibly strong. They were hitting every shot. Shellstad was playing on another level, and you're just thinking, oh my God, are they going to run Arizona out of the gym at this point? The tide slowly started to turn because Oregon continued to turn the ball over, and they would go on long stretches of not scoring. The fact that they trailed at the end of the first half after that, what was it, 20-4, whatever the start of the game was, that was red flag number one. You wasted an opportunity to have a nice halftime lead here, and you allowed Arizona a chance to get back into the game. The other two things that killed them, it doesn't take a brilliant mind to point this out. Bill Schonley's rolling over in his grave. They went 12 of 22 from the free throw line. 12 of 22. Yeah. And it wasn't just, a bad free throw shooter. Kwame Evans was 2 of 5. He hadn't been a great free throw shooter this year. Shellstad missed a couple of big free throws. Biddle missed free throws. He was 1 of 3 from the line.
Kept getting splits.
Every time you're like, dude, you lost the game by 4 and you missed 10 free throws. So there you go. That's problem number one. And then, look, I find the reaction to college basketball funny where I did see some of the Dane Altman stuff, which is always going to rear its ugly head.
How do you find it?
It's just we had a listener tweet us last night. This is why we should fire Dane Altman. So that's one of the places.
Okay.
I think that's like the knuckle dragging element of the fan base that I just could not disagree more with.
All right.
But this was my point about coaches in college basketball. And I mean this in no way to belittle the guy, no pun intended. Nate Biddle's carried them this year. He has been their most consistent player.
Yes, he has.
Shellstad has had good games and bad games. Other guys have come and gone or been in and out of it. Nate Biddle is the main reason Oregon was 25-10 this year. He has been unquestionably their best player this year. He was awful last night.
In the first half, for sure.
Sure, he got it going in the second half when the starting center for Arizona got 4 fouls and he got to play against the backup.
Hey, yes.
Look, he took advantage of that matchup, yes. But there was a time in the second half where he had more turnovers than field goals. It felt like every time they went to him in the post, he was undecisive of what he wanted to do, took too long to make a move, would bring the ball down, give an Arizona guard time to come poke it away, and he just kept turning it over. And he was amazing. I hope he comes back for another year. He's a hell of a player, and Oregon's not to where they're at.
Why would he not come back?
I don't know. I'm assuming he doesn't have much of an NBA draft future, but I don't follow mocks and all that kind of stuff.
I haven't seen his name on...
He's a 7-footer that can shoot a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how this works out. I hope he comes back next year, but he had a rough night last night. Your best player in the second half of the game had more turnovers than field goals at one point. You combine that with missing 10 free throws, that's how you lose a game by 4 points to a talented team that you mentioned shot 50% from 3, and their best player in Caleb Love was outstanding from start to finish in that game.
Yeah, I think it's just the way you lose.
Hurts.
And when you miss free throws, like when you largely point to that and say that's what did it, that's where people get really frustrated. I can't blame the coach for that. The coach is
not shooting free throws.
They're in college. They know how to shoot free throws. The coach isn't going, hey guys, let's practice our free throws for 35 minutes. It's
maybe not have 9 turnovers. Maybe let's not do that.
Well, that's another big part. Also, Arizona's really stinking good. They've got really talented players all over the court, and so you combine all these things, and there's a lot of reaction from these kinds of performances. I thought Biddle was really good in the second half, as you mentioned, when their big got into foul trouble.
Was it Awaka? Is that their starting center?
He was out for like 7 minutes.
He was eating Biddle. That guy was a hell of a defender, man. He was all over the place.
I would like to talk about, and maybe we do this on the other side, of just, was that drawn up for TJ Bamba? Or did TJ Bamba go rogue and say, nah, this is me time.
Yeah.
This is winning time. TJ Bamba time.
This is Bamba time.
Because there were 2 players on the court that I'm like, they're both having a moment.
Yeah.
They're both playing really good these last 5 minutes.
I prefer Jackson Shellstad to shoot a ball with the game on the line.
And neither one of them were named TJ Bamba.
Bamba had a good game.
He wasn't bad.
He was good, but
I think if I told you they're down 2 somehow despite all of this.
Yeah, I would prefer Jackson Shellstad gets the look there. Or Biddle.
Or Biddle.
Who against a backup big.
Made like free throw extended type jump hook shots multiple times.
Yeah.